Hello, everyone. Welcome you all to another chapter of the JavaScript beginners tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 11, where we'll be learning about functions. Okay, so we're gonna learn about functions in detail here in this particular class. We'll learn what a function is, how it is being used inside JavaScript. So let's not waste time and let's get started. So over here on my screen, as you guys can see, now I'm here in my index.js file. And in last class, we do have learned about operators. And here in this particular class, let me mention that this is the class number 6, let's suppose. Okay, so 6 was operators. So I will just mark this one as 7 and let's name this one as functions. And let's come here and let me just comment this thing out. So what are functions basically? Well, functions are basically a set of commands which we set over here in case we don't want to repeat the same thing again and again. So if I just give you guys a small example, let's say you are a school teacher, okay, and you do have 100 kid in your class and you want to make result or you want to get the CGPA of those. So well, you know the process of getting the CGPA, like that is a long process. So just think, do you want to do that same thing 100 times, or you just want to give the results and you just want to call that particular action and it will just keep on doing that same thing for you automatically. Okay, so here what we can do is using function, we guys can come here and we guys can save that particular function, and whenever we need that set of function to work for us, we can come here and we guys can call for that particular function over here and it will basically work. So let's come here and let's just name this one as function. If you do want to call any function, let's come here, let's put function, and now you guys can name your function. Let me just try to find an average. Okay, so I will just name my function an average, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put equal to sign, and now I'm gonna tell that to function what all I am going to provide. Okay, so let me just put a, b, and C. Okay, so I'm telling my condition that I'll be providing this with three particular values. Okay, so now let's come down and instead over here, if I don't need to basically put equal to. Okay, so I won't put out the equal to sign. Let's come over here and let's just put this one. Come here and to mention my function, like you guys can see, I have told that, well, this is a function and the name of the function is avg, as I would want to find the average of the three numbers. And I have also provided that what all I want to provide. So these are three parameters as I want to provide. So to open up this function or to write the condition, I will just open the curly bracket over here. Let's click on enter, and as you guys can see, now I can say that return statement, let's say I will just turn return, and over here I can basically write what I exactly want. Okay, so over here for return, let's say I will just type a plus, or let me just give it a space to make it look good, a plus b plus c, and now I will just divide this by 3. Okay, so this is the statement. Like if you just come over here, and now let me just close the parenthesis over here as well, and you guys can see that now I do have this particular equation over here. So this is a very small function in which I says that here I will provide these three parameters inside this function. Okay. And the logic is return me a plus b plus c. So the three parameters which I'll be providing, it will get added over here, and to find the average, it will divide this by the number of elements. Okay. So over here, the number of element is 3, as you guys can see. Okay. So for that now, let's click on enter and let's come down, and over here, if I want to call this particular function which I have, so for that what I can basically do is I can come here and let's name this one as a1 equal to, and now I will just call the particular function. So as you guys can see, this is a function. So let me just type a v g, and now I'm going to open the parenthesis, and over here you guys can see they're asking me for three numbers. Okay, so I can just come here, let me just provide 22, then I will just differentiate it using comma. You guys can see they're asking me for the b value, so I will just put 34. I will just put out a comma, and now I will just put 44 over here. Okay, so you guys can see now over here I do have named this one as a1. Let's come here, let's put this one as b1 equal to a vg. Let's open parenthesis, let's put 10 comma 14 comma 18. Okay, so as you guys can see over here, I have called out for the function. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have called out for function and I have provided this information. So if I wanted to find the average of b1 also, I have to do this whole equation again. But instead of doing the whole equation again, over here I do have only mentioned the function over here. So now if I do want to print this out inside my console, I will just type console.log, and let's open this one and let's put a1 and b1. Okay, so over here now I do have the values. So over here now let's try to check this one. Let's put Control S, let's go to my server, and here you guys can see the value of a1 is 33.33 and the value of b1 is 14. Okay, so you guys can see I do have two values. So the same way, if I do want to come here and let's say if I just click on enter and if I just name something as c1, and if I just put a vg, now let's open the parenthesis and let me just provide three more values. Let's go with 40 comma 50 comma 60. Okay, so if I just come over here and now also inside the console.log, I will just put c1 right over here, Control S to save it. Let's go to my live server, and here you guys can see now I do have this value as 50 as well. Okay, because the average of 50, 40, 50 and 60 is 50. Okay, so here I don't have to do it again and again. So this is basically the simplest form of creating a function. Okay, so this can be the simplest form of basically creating a function. But over here now, let's say if you do want to come here, let's click on enter. Instead of returning over here, you guys can also make it more complicated. Okay, so let me show you guys about that. So now let's come here and let's change the name of this particular function. Let me name this one as diff. Okay, because over here I want to find the difference between two numbers. Okay, so I will just name this particular function as diff. And over here now, let me just clear this thing out. Let's come here, and from here, let's click on enter. And what I want to do is I want to name this particular variable as C. Okay, so I'm just defining my condition. So C is equal to A minus B. Okay, so that is my statement. And if I just come down, I want it to return C. Okay, so as you guys can see, I want it to return me the C. Okay, so here now I do have this particular statement, and over here now, as you guys can see, A1. So I will come here and I will just mention my function, which is diff. Okay, so the same way, let's come here and let's put diff. Let's come over here and let's change it to diff. And let me just delete all these particular values which I have. Okay, so I will just delete this value. Let's come here and let me just put 18 comma 12 and then 44 comma 20. Okay, so as you guys can see now over here, I do have called the diff function over here in all these three statements which I have provided. So using the function, we don't have to repeat the same argument again and again to get out the result. Okay, so if I just click on Control S and let's come here, you guys can see the answer is 24, 6 and minus 10. Okay, so over here as you guys can see 50 minus 60 is minus 10. Okay, so you guys will be able to get values in minus numerical value as well. So this is basically the usage of function, and function will be inactivated till the time you don't call for it inside your programming. Okay, so this is quite important that when we are working in a repetitive cycle, we do create a function and we do call it wherever we need it. So we can have multiple function with different name. Make sure to have different name because it will be easier for you to identify and there won't be any confusion. Okay, make sure to write it down if you are creating some big programs and stuff. Okay, so make sure of that. So yeah, I hope this class was clear. Now, before closing this one, let me just tell you guys about a simple thing over here. Okay, so now if I come here and let's say you guys can see that the value which are written over here, it's coming in blue color. Okay, so you guys will have some purpose for that. Well, so if I just come here and if I just type console dot log, and if I just open parenthesis and let's say if I just keep this thing under inside my quotation, let's say if I just put 24 inside quotation. Now let me just close this thing down, and if I click on enter here, now you guys can see this particular numerical value is showing me in black color, but over here on top it is showing me in a blue color. So this one is now basically have turned into a string because I do have put quotation just beside this one, or this is inside a quotation, but over here these are numbers or integers which I have used. So in your server console or in your website console, it will show you guys the blue numbers, which signifies a value or a numerical value. And here in the same console, a black one, you should understand that that one is basically a string. So this is the difference between a string and a number, like how you will be able to differentiate between those. And also, let me just tell you guys that in our last class, we do have learned about operators. And here, just for your knowledge, if anyone asks you that what is an operand and what is an operator, that you guys know, let's say over here, I do have variables. Okay. So here, let's say I do have this two variable. Okay. So here A is an operand, okay, B is an operand, but here this particular arithmetic operator, okay, or these operators are known as these are known as operators, and the one who are taking part, let's say the value or the variable, are basically known as operands. So these are operands, and these are basically this particular signs. Okay, these operators are operators itself. So yeah, I hope this class was clear. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone.